Good evening, racing fans. This is James Ramos from At the Quarter Pole, and at my post 2023 Belmont results and comments about the race. If you had seen my video 3 weeks ago, I had picked Forte to win this race by a convincing 6 lengths. It did not come to fruition. He came in second round, second to Tap It Twice, over Tap It Twice, coming off a 2 month layoff. He looked like he needed a race. Now, make no excuses. Arcangelo won a great race. He stayed on the inside, which I commented that he liked the inside, and also he was my long shot play of the day. If Forte did not run his race, which he did, and exacted paid handsomely at 68.20. Arcangelo paid 17.80 to win. Forte came in second, paying 4.20, and Tapatrice won a beat up third. He ran a lot better than I predicted. I didn't think he would hit the board. But I would say right now the 3-year-old horses look really, really muddled. I say this is one of the worst crops I've seen. Maybe Forte might pan out by the end of the year. Arcangelo might really do well at the end of the year. Right now, say Forte running in one of the two preps before the Midsummer's Derby, the Travers Stakes. Either he's going to run, I would say either the Haskell or the Jim Dandy. I would look for him to run. I would say more likely spot would be the Jim Dandy. You don't want to have to go from track to track and stay at his home base and then set up for the Travers Stakes. Will he win that race? I'm not sure. I haven't looked at the field. It's still back in August, and who knows who's going to show up in that race or in that field. If the 3-year-olds drop off, there's going to be a new shooter coming in the fray. I'm not sure of it all. All I can tell you right now, Archangel looked like he won that mile and a half, like he wanted more distance. For if I was the owner of the trainer horse, I'd be looking for something more on the turf races. The way I would say turf races out of Arrowgate, which is normally dirt, but the way this horse runs looked like he was going to appreciate going to the turf as a 3-year-old. Going forward as a 4-year-old, he might improve a lot more. We got to remember he won his main special weight 3 runs back. Then he won the Peter Pan at a G3 race. Now he has won the Belmont Stakes at a G1 at $1.5 million. I would definitely run this horse on the turf to see if anything, to maybe get more value from even European interest to see if this horse pans out in the turf. His running styles dictates this horse is going to like the turf races more than the dirt races, or they run at a very even pace. If you look at the fractions of the Belmont Stakes, I predicted it would run a half of 49. They ran at 47, ran 6 furlongs at about 112 and 4. I figured I was looking at about 113. But he just progresses. He moves steadily into the fray, into the race as Arcangelo, and he just seems like a horse that's going to appreciate that kind of ground, longer distance. The dirt races for 3-year-olds are going to be at a mile from a mile and 1/8, maybe one and a quarter. That's why I predict that Arcangelo will start trying the turf. It just makes sense to me. Worst case scenario, that if he does perform in turf races, maybe not win, but a couple of seconds and thirds might mark up his value for European interest or overseas, stating that there's not a lot of horses from the United States that do really well on the turf. Maybe getting some European interest, maybe Coolmore, you never know. I'm looking further down the line. If I was the owner of Archangel, this is the way I would pursue this horse's career. I don't see a lot of good racing out for the dirt. And like I says, if I want to market value this 3-year-old, I would start putting them on the turf. Next comment I would have is the CBS color commentary before the races. I disagree about the whole thing. That Avery Johnson predicting that the better way to have more horses in the Triple Crown, he suggested that they would give more time between races. I'm not sure of his background. I know he played in the NBA, was a pretty good player, head coach. As a horse analyst, I would say not very good at all. I'm a traditionalist. I believe the Triple Crown race should still stay the way it is at the 2x2 3-4 match, which is 3 races in about for the Triple Crown races at 5 weeks. That's what validates a Triple Crown winner is winning 3 races in 5 weeks. He stated that he thought it would be best if we have more interest in the Preakness, where it ran 7 horses, really 8 horses were in the race, so late scratch. Produced 7 horses in the Preakness. He believes that stretching out the Preakness Stakes for another week, 2 weeks would give other horses rest and maybe have a fuller field in the Preakness. I disagree with that wholeheartedly. I think if you want a fuller field in the Preakness and having 20 horses running the Kentucky Derby, I would suggest only have the top 10 horses per points run in the Kentucky Derby. That means anybody out from there, I wouldn't suggest. I would just, that would be the best way I would do. I'd do the top 10 horses in the Derby, the other 10 horses with earnings, then would subsequently go to the Preakness, and that would just make a fuller field. I mean, what's next for horses to validate the Triple Crown? I mean, I don't know the way the racing goes. I mean, they're going to start stretching the horses out or the race out for every month from the Preakness and the Derby, and the Preakness and the Belmont, and the Derby from the Preakness, like once every month. Well, that's the case, then why shouldn't you just run horses that win the Kentucky Derby, run them in 2 weeks and then or a month, and put them against non-winners have 10,000 claimer? I just disagree. I didn't like the CBS coverage of the Belmont Stakes. I mean, I don't think they know exactly what horse racing is. But like it says, I'm a traditionalist. This is what I believe in. And I just think they're way off the path. I believe any trainer that would skip the Derby or run the horse at the Derby, if the horse was fit enough at a $1.5 million for the Preakness, you think that any trainer would give a shot to the horse to run in the Preakness for how much you're getting? For the purse, and then at the Belmont Stakes, another 1.5 million. I'm not sure what Avery Johnson is really his ideas about horse racing. All I could tell you is if you want to reach out to me, I'm at James Ramos at the quarter pole. You can reach me on YouTube. You could tweet me at James Ramos at 36 Factors, but we could discuss this. Let me know your opinions about this. I'm wholehearted, all ears and all heads some days about certain things. But this is James Ramos from At the Quarter Pole. Have a good night, folks.